Welcome to the Spirit the Beyond Files.
Ready to question reality? You're in the right place.
Let's dive in.
So now you're telling me that it has been approved in Japan, the ability to mix animal and human DNA, therefore splicing it and creating animal-human hybrids that are allowed to come to term. Now I'm gonna let you marinate that for just a second. Are you good? Are we ready to cook this chicken? Now, the reason behind it is it is supposed to potentially help with human organ donors and transplants. Therefore, if you needed a heart, a liver, a lung, a kidney, you would have access to that quicker, because if you know anything about that, it is a very lengthy process and a very challenging one for those who need organs. But there are some huge red flags and a lot of skepticism attached to it because they're not entirely sure what the human cells will potentially do to the animal brain. And then there's also the whole thing of religion. I swear every day I wake up, I'm like, what sci-fi movie did I just get a starring role on? What timeline did we just jump on? What universe are we currently residing in? So what do you think? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Let me know, put it in the comments. And obviously this is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only, but we need to talk about this.
I don't like it. I don't think we should be messing with DNA. I feel like that makes us no difference than acting as if we're God.
I just think it's funny we watched this because the other night I just watched the episode. I don't know if you've ever seen The Mighty Boosh. It's a British
I know
adult
who's in
swim
it, but I
comedy.
haven't seen it yet.
They work at the zoo, and there was a guy doing experiments mixing human DNA and the zoo animals together and making these monstrosities.
That's scary.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
What in the hell?
What's up? Hanukkah. What's up? Minanawa. What is that? Video.
It's a fucking asteroid.
No, what's the sparkling?
It's still going, it's still going. It just disappeared. It just disappeared.
No, it's still there. Look at
It's still there, it's still there!
It's still there. It's like sparkly. It's all the sparkly stuff right there. That's amazing. What is that sparkly
It
stuff?
freaking disappeared.
What is that?
What is that?
That's a UFO.
That's insane.
That's a UFO.
Oh,
What is that?
holy shit.
What is that?
You can still see it.
Oh my
Holy shit.
God.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God. What is that?
It's gonna land.
You don't believe it. Look at all of you jumping out of the hot tub. Look at all of them. Look at it. Oh my God.
I just love when you're like looking up and it's just like, what's a fucking asteroid?
I don't know what that is, but I don't think it's an asteroid. It's completely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe this guy knows.
Am I the only person who's not really buying the story? Let me show you why. So let's start with the fact that it was ship 33 that had the issue, apparently. Out of all ships, ship 33. In every single angle of the video we have, we see it going with the horizon and not going up and down vertically. All the vertical tapes were people holding their camera the opposite way, like you can see right here. But what if I told you we've been seeing this exact type situation every month for a few months now? Like, for instance, this was the one that happened about 1 month ago, and they deemed it not a meteor shower, and it happened when all the crazy stuff was happening in the northeast United States, if you get what I'm talking about. further, do you remember this type of stuff always popping up in the sky? Well, after Starlink came out, they claimed that every single one of these was just Starlink, even though it started happening way before Starlink. All over the place. Then we had people coming out saying, oh, there's whole fleets of interdimensional creatures on the way to Earth. So, I mean, is this really Ship 33 going straight with Horizon? Oh, it's so fast and gravity will stay up. I doubt it. Plus, keeping the same color the entire time without dimming out. And by the way, did you know that spiritual things make humans act funny? At the same exact time, a few cars drove off the bridge. A few cars off the bridge in Washington, D.C. Again, same time. Not to mention having a full moon 4 days in a row. Look at this from the launch. Do you think that this would make it into space? It's layered up with aluminum foil.
I remember something like that had come over California months ago, and they tried to say it was just something that exploded, and I don't really buy it personally.
I know they say that there's a disclosure of some sort coming up, but I would really hope that they really disclose more than their little piddly things they've been disclosing, because I think we're ready to hear the truth. And those seem pretty ET-ish to me, but beautiful.
They recreated the movie and they invited real witches on the set, and they had the witches before they would do a scene to cast spells and to invite the actresses to come into this circle with them while they were releasing spell words over the viewers and over the scene. And people are playing it in their home, and it's entertainment. And you know, Charlene, I always say the first part of entertainment is enter. So be careful what's entering your home.
You see, if these artists are so great, why do they have to go to these measures to make people like them and to be so great? They literally have to make a pact with demons and the devil. And I've been in many recording studios. This literally is partly a recording studio. There's a microphone, and I've never seen anyone phone a witch and tell them to come through to enchant the song.
There's so many people out there, regular people who are so entertaining.
Talented. Absolutely.
That's the beauty of TikTok. Everybody's entertaining.
We don't need the Hollywood industry putting spells, or the music industry casting spells over the music and the films. And actually, I think in the future, unfortunately, we're going to lose entertainment altogether, and it's going to end up just being documentaries and educational.
Or AI or something.
Yeah, so enjoy it, but be careful.
Y'all have no idea how much is being said in this one picture. I'm about to give y'all an occultic ride that most people aren't even aware of. So 2 major things point out to me when I look at this picture. 1, major occultism. Why? What is she holding? And we'll come back to black magic in a minute because it all fits together. What she's holding is a jester, and you may not know how symbolically powerful the jester is. In the highest rank of occultism, you'll find the Royal Order of Jesters. I can't say too much on this, so just Google Royal Order of Jesters. But why the jester? The jester is the only figure that could deliver bad news to the king, but they also entertained the king. Entertainers, if you will. They were basically second in command to the monarch. And they were to entertain the guests at the royal court, but they did so much more than that. And they're doing the same thing today. So with her holding a jester, let's see what the jesters do in detail. Song, music, storytelling, you know, actors, musicians, etc. But also performing magic tricks, or just magic. So they are elite entertainers that entertain the most powerful. But remember how we're talking about magic. Her new look is really starting to remind me of something. Something like this. High-class witches and warlocks are literally a servant to a demon. And what would you guess the deepest, darkest thoughts of a demon are? Their physical appearance does change because one of their habits. So they are being awarded a jester, partaking in every form of the jester. Entertaining the highest societies of this world. But who is the god of this world? Oh, what is this? Another award? Look at the staff it's holding. That reminds me of something. Oh yeah, that's right. The same staff right here. The same staff is right here. Again, for the god of this world. And again, the god of this world. The world is exactly the same as when we had kings and queens and they had serfs, and we would live on the king's land. We live on the king's land because we pay taxes on what we own. The only difference now is the jesters don't just entertain the king, they entertain the masses. And drive all the masses to the god of this world. It's quite literally the best story ever told.
This just ties into it all again.
I think it's Interesting that jesters were the only ones for some kings that could tell them the bad news, and that was okay.
Makes sense.
Having a joker on your side.
Diddy will go to prison for life, people. You don't know things that I knew about Diddy back in the day, and you want to know what? It's about time, people. It is about time. Diddy done.
Wendy Williams made some shocking claims in a rare interview on The Breakfast Club. She called the show to slam her conservatorship and expose some of the conditions that they're holding her under.
What do I think about being abused? Look, this system is broken. This system has falsified, a lot. You know what I'm saying?
They said you're cognitively impaired and you're incapacitated.
Do I seem that way?
Wendy claims that the conservatorship will not let her see her father for his birthday next month. They got rid of her cats without her knowledge, and she only gets a $15 allowance. $15.
I am not cognitively impaired, you know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. What if I can't see my dad for his birthday? You know, at 94, you know, the day after that is not promised. My life is like up.
She says that the place that they're keeping her is in New York, away from her family in Florida. Her room just has a bed, a chair, and a TV. She can't receive calls. She can only call out, and she doesn't have access to the internet. She claims the conservatorship is retaliatory when she speaks out against them.
What if they take my phone? I won't be able to talk to anybody.
Wow. Let us know what you think. To me, that sounds like Britney Spears' conservatorship all over again.
My thoughts exactly just like Britney Spears, like just controlling them so they can't speak out.
I think you should always be aware of who you surround yourself with and what you're willing to do to get where you need to be, because clearly there's something going on dark in Hollywood and people are catching on. Wendy Williams was all whacked out the last time we saw her. She couldn't even form sentences, and we thought she's got MS, she's got something going on. Now she's completely lucid and she's locked away from society. Who's pulling these strings and what's going on?
But right here, we're looking into the Thousand Oaks area. Actually, yeah, this is the north end of the Thousand Oaks area. Looking for any damage in here, but it didn't look like fire got into this area. This is to the, actually right up the edge there. It's a little bit of fire came down. Oh, we got a house right there, and multiple houses down here in Oak Park. You can see right there. It's the ones that back up to the interface, and that's 12 o'clock. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, I see it now. It's Lindero Canyon. I see there. So, yeah, trying to get oriented here from so high up and very little visibility outward to where I can get my references. But you can see here the damage. Houses on either side, still standing, but the one right there is completely gone. And it got into these houses in the back. I got that one house right there. In fact, that's one we were watching last night. Yeah, we were watching this one last night.
It's the photo that's become a symbol of hope amid LA's devastating wildfires. This Malibu neighborhood was just about entirely wiped out, yet amid the rubble, a lone bright blue Volkswagen van from the 1970s somehow remains virtually untouched. The van belongs to surfboard designer Megan Weintraub, who was surfing with friends in Malibu just before the fire laid waste to the county. Megan parked the 1977 VW Type 2 van on the side of the road, little realizing the horror that was about to hit. Look at the photo. Nearly everything is reduced to rubble, except for that disco-era van. And here is the van today, parked in the exact same spot where Megan left it when she heeded the order to evacuate. She can't come back for it yet because the neighborhood is still closed to the public. We spoke with Megan and her friend, Preston Martin, who was with Megan when they went surfing.
One of my neighbors sent me the photo, like, Megan, is that your blue bus? And I'm like, oh, I don't know how it survived. And it was like the light in the darkness of all this insanity.
To have a little glimmer of hope of this bright blue VW bus against the backdrop of charred houses it's sad and it's scary, but it's also beautiful.
This has Lahaina written all over it. Do you remember when people were tarping their roofs with blue tarps? Do you remember when Oprah's estate there never burnt, or anybody with blue cars, it didn't burn? These are controlled burns.
It's just crazy. Those houses were just burning down separate from each other, and then the fires were done.
How is that even possible?
I have no idea what's going on, but listen to this. there's something under the ground, and it sounds like it's about to bust out. Holy crap. It's over here in the field.
Dude, we were driving past it, right by this barn down here. Look at this freaking thing, dude. Why is it shaking? Look at it. It's not windy. Nothing else is shaking. You can't see this one shaking very much, but it is shaking. I'm like scared to touch it. I feel like it's freaking electric. It doesn't seem like it's shaking that fast, but in real life, it's shaking so fast. What the hell is going on? So anyways, seems like we should call someone. Because this is really freaky.
So in that last video, I didn't really show it, but I put my hand on those and stopped it. I stopped the vibration. It actually took about 20 seconds. It felt through the pipes as if though there was a dozer or something driving by, and there's none of that. I'm here by myself. And after letting go of it, after a few minutes, it started up on its own again. And you can tell it's not really windy. I mean, there's a slight breeze.
Real life tremors going on.
Why do you think it is?
Maybe it's some mutant underground monster.
So the paranormal person in me says this is ET, they're digging tunnels, there's something weird going on under the ground. But I did see a video by Glamham, and she explained that if we look into this and really see where these ground shakings are located they located on farmlands that are strategically around military bases? If that's the case, if these shakings are happening at these farms, remember, China bought these farms. China bought this farmland, strategically placed near military bases. And what would be the best way to get into our communication but to bore underground tunnels? So is there boring going on under there? And what is it? Makes you think.
Or it's a giant centipede.
Something so strange and incredibly creepy happened to me this morning at 3 a.m. My phone was on the charger. It was in sleep mode. And 3 a.m. on the dot, I wake up to hear a man's voice in a language that I could not pick up. It sounded Arabic and French. I couldn't understand what it was. So I sat up and I unlocked my phone, took it off the charger, and I just immediately did like a screen record. And so on my home screen, it shows, the last music that I was listening to. And so it wasn't like a streaming audio. It was not a podcast. It wasn't like, how sometimes you can be on Instagram or somewhere and the audio just keeps looping. It wasn't that. And the only way I could stop it was to just restart my phone. But it reminded me of, a lot of the things that I was paranoid about with like baby monitors or Alexa. Like it felt like it came through like it was a walkie-talkie broadcast, but I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't understand what it was saying. And then part of me thought, okay, you're hallucinating. Like you finally lost it. Like this, okay, this is not normal. But anyway, aside from like worries about the new Apple updates to AI, I was like, well, maybe it's this new charger, because we were gifted this at Christmas and I had my phone on the charger on the USB cable for that. So anyway, I'll play like a short clip of audio. I just don't want to do like a green screen thing. But yeah, if this happened to you, this is the first time I've shown my face on TikTok. I'm hoping that the algorithm can help me out. I had no luck on Google. And I did find one person that this happened to in November on TikTok. So anyway, let me know if it happened to you. At 3 a.m. Playing on my phone that was set to silent and in sleep mode. So as I translated my audio to captions, I decided to try to translate the video, and it is Arabic, but none of it made sense in translation to me. I'm most concerned about the fact that my phone, set to silent in sleep mode, served as some kind of little ham radio. I don't know, but it's not normal, it's not cool, and I don't want that to happen again. So anyway, any ideas, anyone?
How is that possible? It's not a walkie-talkie, our phones. We are usually connected to Wi-Fi, but if it's in sleep mode or airplane mode, how is that possible? And what is she picking up?
I'd like to know if someone could find the translation. That'd be interesting to know what it actually said, too.
If you like what you see, could you please support us by hitting the like and subscribe button? It'd be a great help, and we thank you very much.
So what you're seeing in this video is a video of government officials in China in the act of cloud seeding, which is when they shoot silver iodide into the atmosphere into clouds, because what it does is it forms ice crystals, which then melt and turn into rain. So they're doing this because they've been suffering from severe droughts all over China, especially along the Yangtze River, which is one of the biggest rivers that flows through China that's been drying up all over the place, which is going to impact, you know, millions and millions and millions of human beings. So in an effort to combat this massive amount of drought that they've been suffering from for a while, they're trying to seed clouds. Now, cloud seeding has been something that's been in place around the world since like the 1940s, but recently China's got one of the biggest cloud seeding programs on the earth. According to China's State Council, the country is committed to bringing about 5.5 million square kilometers of its land under its weather modification program by 2025. And largely one of the biggest processes that they're going to be doing with that is cloud seeding. Now, cloud seeding is referred to as geoengineering, which is basically just saying like manipulating the earth. And currently there's no conventions or formal agreements that say you can't. So some people think this could be used militarily eventually. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Does anyone know why the entire United States is covered by an invisible layer of clouds? And this is this week. Today is January 17th. So I want to show you this video. I wish I could credit the person, but on Twitter they steal videos and post them, so I don't know who did it. If you do know, tag them below. But basically they were looking at cloud coverage on one of these radars, right? And what they found was for like the past 2 weeks, the entire US, even right now, is covered by an invisible layer of cloud coverage. That is super, super, super weird. You can see where all the main clouds are, but then you go look outside and you can't really see this invisible layer, and who knows what the invisible layer really is. Oh yeah, it's not just the United States, it's the entire world. So I opened up the Wendy app to see if maybe it was here, and it wasn't. So this reminds me, do you remember when we had that glitch on Event 2 Sky? But in that same glitch, we saw physical manifestations at, say, South Africa. And quite literally at the same time, people have been taking pictures of 2 full moons, and the full moon's been there for 4 or 5 days. And of course, it's not just the moon. The sun has been photographed a whole bunch the last few days, showing all this extra stuff. But some people are able to photograph supposedly Nibiru in the sky while this is all going on. and we had the orbs just disappear. So maybe all of it's still there. And for some reason, we just can't see it. I don't know. By the way, this video is a joke. I'm being stupid.
I think that there's definitely geoengineering going on. We see spraying all the time, but they're not launching it from the ground. We're seeing actual planes in our area.
Yeah, and I remember the day we had the big solar eclipse event, and it was a beautiful sunny day.
Yes.
Driving down the road, I saw planes spraying lines everywhere, and then all of a sudden it was super cloudy and you couldn't see the eclipse.
They didn't want us to see something, and it wasn't just us. It seemed to be a lot of areas, right? Like down south. What is the fog? What is the constant cloud cover? What don't they want us to see? Are they spraying things like graphene? Is this something that's making our health ill? So this is really odd times we're living in.
Just like he said, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Well, it appears that there may be a disclosure happening, and it may not be from human sources. Take a look at this footage. This was captured by a man named Zach Alexander out of Tampa Bay, Florida on January 16th, 2025. He looked outside of their apartment window and saw this massive sphere hovering above the water. Now, he states it was hovering for quite some time, and by the time they made it down to the docks to see what this thing was, it vanished. He also claimed that they saw this thing come out of the water, and when they began recording, it was just hovering. But the question remains is, what is this? Is it a balloon? Or is this truly a UFO, a USO that came out of the water? Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
It's like you just came up out of the water. Bro, what in the world is that? It just came up out of the water. It's just hovering there, bro. That is so crazy. Bro, they're here. They're fucking here, man. Yeah, can you hear it? Yeah. How does that sound?
I know, we laughed.
It won't let me hold my camera still.
You know what I just found out? So
It's just hovering over the water. What the fuck is that, man? What is that, eh? They're here! They're here! It's not doing nothing. Oh, it's like you just came up out of the water. Bro, what in the world is that? It just came up out of the water. It's just hovering there, bro. That is so crazy. Bro, they're here. They're fucking here, man. Yeah, can you hear it?
Here. Look. I don't think that's it. That's not coming from over there. That's the noise. You need to get the boy. What the heck? Look at it move. Look at it. Look at it.
kind of weird that all of these things that we see in the sky, these Dior bags, they're all different shapes.
Yeah.
Like, they're all completely different.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, are they all coming from the same source? Are they from different sources? Because they're all so differently shaped and they move all differently.
Different sources, probably.
Yeah.
What is happening? What are these?
I have an incredible video to share with you today. This is from a woman named Livia Clemente out of Peru. She captured this on January 13th, 2025. And honestly, it traumatized her per her words. It's a quick video, but I actually had to break this one down, slow it down, stabilize it, and zoom in because this is amazing. Per her and the other witnesses, this is not AI. This is what they captured in their little village in Peru. And it looks like it's a craft with beings inside. I count at least 3. Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
¿Está grabando? Un ovni en vivo, familia, estoy traumada. ¿Qué es eso?
Two things for me. One is I've actually seen one of those circular round orbs that are glowing white, just like that. And there was a being inside of it. It was right above the trees and we could see it clear as day. But it was at night and it was mind blowing. Didn't get a scary feeling off of it, just an amazed feeling. Second thing is, what the hell with the Dementors? They're catching those slow, wispy, shadowy looking things all over the place. Too much to be faked. Is it a demon?
To be so dark, it doesn't feel like it's something good. The orbs, the ones that are a white light and glowing, makes me feel like they are of something more benevolent.
Right.
But the ones that are very dark and shadowy, I get a bad feeling from that. But what do you guys think? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Oh my god, guys, I was watching this and then look at Jeff Bezos. Ready, hold on.
True faith. That I will bear true faith.
Oh my god, y'all, he keeps doing it.
Purpose
Look.
of evasion, or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
Is he okay? Am I the only one that's seen this? What is he on? Let me rewind that.
For purpose of evasion. And that I will well and
oh my god, y'all. He's glitching. They were just like, what am I gonna eat for dinner? I'm hungry.
What the fuck? What's wrong with them?
Standing next to her son Baron, who now attends NYU. Instrumental in his father's
That's a
campaign,
fucking robot, I
and
swear to you.
Like a larger political role. Not entirely sure if Mom wants that to happen, but she did say.
Elon's definitely an alien. Come on, he already admitted he's an alien.
The Bezos, it's weird. If you've ever seen those photos that they make him come to life and they move and it's very unnatural, that's the vibe I get from that.
So you think it's a filter?
Yeah, like some weird, even if it's the actual news station or whoever's like doing it.
Why
like,
would they
did
do
something-
that though?
I don't know. A lot of those anchors, they have those weird filters on them
but do
that
they?
alter their face.
Some of them hiss and everything.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Or they have weird pointy teeth. It's strange.
And I don't know about Elon. I think he's just having a little moment.
We know he's on the spectrum, but like, what's up with these billionaires, y'all?
Thanks for watching our videos, guys. We appreciate your support so much. And until next time, tune back in for more strange and unusual content. See you later.